the most common things that will cause your wedding day to get delayed.
Welcome back to Bride Society. I'm Laura and this is Rebecca. And we're talking through today some of the most common things that can happen on a wedding day which delay things, which can throw timings off, so everything there's a knock-on effect and everything can get delayed. But with a few tips and being aware of some of these, we can make sure it doesn't happen on your wedding day. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, here's to some smooth running weddings.
Yeah.
So first thing we're going to say is about having an order of the day. Even if you're having quite a relaxed wedding, I think this is key for your guests as well as yourself, so that everybody knows what's happening. So we're not saying you have to plan like every single little thing down to the very last minute, but at least having that overarching plan timeline for the day that everybody, guests included, can see is really helpful, because at the end of the day it's people being in the right places at the right time that is one of the biggest things, which we're going to come on to in more detail. But if you don't tell them where they need to be at a certain time, the chances of you getting them there at a certain time are like minuscule. Even ones that want to be on time, where they're kind of going, oh, I want to make sure, that, I'm sat down ready for the couple to walk in, as be announced as Mr. and Mrs. or whatever as they come in to the dining room, but we don't want to go to the bathroom and you don't know what time to go because you don't know what time to sit down. Like, it's really simple. Just order the day, they know where they're supposed to be when it happens.
Yeah. And it also helps you figure out what you want to include as part of the day and make sure you have enough time to do everything and fit it all in comfortably, smoothly. Communication is key. You want to communicate timings to the people that it affects. So we're talking, if you're having a bridal party and you're all getting ready together in the morning, what time do your bridesmaids need to arrive in the room to get ready, and in what state? So do they?
Yeah. Should they have washed their hair already?
Yes. Or just so you're starting on time. There isn't already that delay in the morning that, oh, we're already half an hour behind, and then you're rushing at the end to get ready to go and get married.
Yeah.
So communication, again, with suppliers as well, possibly, so they know where they need to be. But yeah, key people for things kind of starting before everything kicks off. So everyone knows where they're supposed to be at what time.
Yeah. And that does feed again into the hair and makeup and the getting ready. So yes, the starting it on time, and do take if you're getting a hair and makeup supplier to come to you, like taking their advice on what time to start, because they are well practiced at this. They know how long it takes them to do one person's hair and makeup and how to multiply that by however many people, or even if they need to suggest you hiring in a second person to take on the amount of work, depending, something like that. But also things like, so it's obviously very common for you, or if it's you the bride watching, to have a trial with hair makeup artists, but not so common for like the bridesmaids, the mother of the bride, that kind of thing. And if they're all still having their hair and makeup done professionally with your person, making sure that they know what style, like that they've agreed what style hair and makeup they're going to have prior to the day. Because obviously if they sit down, have their hair done a certain way, and they're like, I don't like it, it's going to cause delays if they've got to start again, because obviously they want to make you happy and make sure that everything's perfect and everyone's feeling good and confident and stuff, so they're going to try their best probably to accommodate that, but there's only so much time.
And they might not be able to start again.
Yeah, it might not be a possibility. So.
Or even just if you're sitting down and then you've got 20 photos on your phone of all different styles and you're still deciding, and it's just things like that that just delay things unnecessarily, that could be decided beforehand.
Yeah.
And another consideration about after getting ready, if either you're getting ready somewhere different to where the ceremony location is, or you're going to a salon to get your hair and makeup done, just factor in some traffic time with a bit extra, because you don't know, maybe you're travelling in peak time, or maybe there's been an accident, or there's another event going on in the town, and it's just that extra bit busy. So just give yourself plenty of time. All of this is to kind of try and reduce and avoid stress on the day. You want to enjoy the day, you don't want to be worrying about running late.
Yeah. Especially like maybe if you're meeting bridesmaids there, maybe you'll probably know where the salon is, but the chances are the bridesmaids don't necessarily, and probably not been there before. So again, it's like, are you pre-arranging to meet them somewhere that you know everyone knows where that is, and then going together at a certain time, like just to try and manage people, getting lots, like all these little variables, it's all about just trying to like manage and put in as many things to help as you can along the way.
Next, wardrobe malfunctions. Now, fingers crossed, nothing will happen, but you might be getting into your wedding outfit and there's a rip, or button comes off, or something that just needs fixing before you can go and get married. Have an emergency kit.
Yeah.
We've talked about this in previous videos before. Just have a few things, needle and thread, safety pins, things like that, that if anything does happen, it can be resolved quickly and easily. So there isn't somebody having to go searching, running off around either a house or a venue, trying to find...
We've got a safety pin!
Things like that, that it's to hand, oh dear, that's happened, but 2 ticks and it'll be fixed.
Yeah. And also on the wardrobe front, what time do people just need to start getting in their outfits, like, because we can all sit around and sip mimosas all day if we want, but again, keeping things moving, or even silly things, like if you, all your bridesmaids are in these like multi-way like infinity dresses, have them decide which styles they're going to be in before the morning, and they're there trying to like figure it out, watching our YouTube tutorials on how to style them, but just that they've got that, or they know which video it is, and they're just going to whip that out for everybody in the morning, even if you've not had time to practice. But practice is good for preparation. But
if there are buttonholes involved in some outfits, groom, get them to figure out how they're put on before 2 minutes before the ceremony starts. Again, just so nothing is delayed unnecessarily. And often photographers and the registrar or person leading the ceremony will be able to help, but don't rely on that. So buffer time. Buffer time is basically key to this entire video. But so allowing buffer time for people to move between venues. So I know we talked about it for like the getting ready in the morning, but even just when you're building your timetable for the day, working in extra time for people to, like, say you've got your ceremony venue is different from your reception venue. Well, people need time to get from A to B, and they're not going to be efficient. Okay, I often say, I mean this in the nicest possible way, but it's like herding cattle, right? Without a sheepdog, and it's like you've got to move everybody, and potentially 100 more people potentially. And I said, if you're moving venues, and that's a lot of cars all at the same time trying to get in and out of probably one car park into one more car park, or that's even if there is a car park and they're not trying to find spaces, obviously traffic, that kind of thing. But it's not, if you think, oh, I've been to my reception venue for dinner, parking wasn't a problem, like traffic was really easy, like it'd be fine. The whole restaurant didn't arrive at the same time. It's just thinking things through like that, just allowing that time. And it's not even just moving between venues. You need to allow that time for people to move just between the separate components of your day. So if you've got people arrive for the reception drinks, and then you've got you want them sat down for dining, well, it's going to take them time to look where they're supposed to be sat, find the right table, sit down, probably someone's going to the washroom, before you can, if you're having an entrance and you're like walking in. So again, if you're then having to sort of stand there waiting for people, building it in. Yeah. If you're choosing to do something like a receiving line where you're welcoming, I guess, all your guests into the reception, thanking all the guests for being there. Make sure you keep it short and snappy. This is not the time for in-depth conversations with every single guest, as lovely as that would be, but it just delays everybody getting into your reception area. People having to queue. If it takes a little bit of time, it's not the most exciting for them to be doing, just waiting. They obviously want to see you and speak to you, wish you congratulations, but they don't want to be waiting 20 minutes to file past you and potential parents just to get into their dinner. So if you are doing that, quick hello, congratulations from everybody, keep it moving.
Keep it moving, people. Yeah. So, speeches. This is probably the main one, and probably the first one that maybe came to your mind when we started this video. Yeah. People can talk. Like, maybe communicate, like, obviously who it is that you wish to give speeches, a max time allocation perhaps, particularly if you know that person is a talker. And again, particularly if you know people can talk, considering when you put the speeches in to your day, like at what point in your day they're occurring. I think traditionally it tends to happen either like when everyone sat down for the dinner, before the food comes out, sometimes between courses, like between main and dessert, but it's a catering nightmare. So they're obviously trying to keep the food hot for you, and all the servers are sort of stood there and trying to be efficient to come out, but trying to keep it warm, and obviously if it backs up, then you've got potentially your evening guests arriving before the meal's then done, or while the speeches are still going, and that's super awkward for the evening guests to walk into, and distracting for the people giving the speeches. So yeah, I mean, I personally would kind of advise the speeches to happen as the meals have ended, to get around the catering problem, so that can be kind of moved along efficiently. That's my personal opinion, but yeah, helping by giving time limits.
Yeah, that works if your people doing the speeches aren't going to be worried about it and super nervous about the speech throughout the meal, because that's why sometimes they're before the meal to get out of the way in the nicest possible way. But you know, and if that's the case and you want to do it earlier, impose time limits, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you can get creative, but you could even do it during the reception drinks. Everyone's already got something to cheers with, as long as, you know, again, if you've allowed enough time for reception drinks and you've allowed arrival time and then reception drinks. So you can play with it, see what works for you, but holding in mind the risks of what happens with the speeches.
Another big one, photos, and group photos specifically.
Group photos.
People wander. They've been let loose after the ceremony.
Got a drink?
Yeah. They wander off, never to be seen again. No, not quite, but a lot of the time, group photos, specific people are needed in those photos, and Uncle Bob has gone off and no one knows where he is.
Yeah.
It just delays things. People don't want to be spending too much time doing group photos. Yes, photos are important, they're great to have, but it's not the most exciting part of the day for your guests to be waiting around, waiting to see if you called for a photo. So clear instructions. People need to know that they're required for photos and not to wander off. Get someone in charge of herding your guests into those group photos so they can be done efficiently and easily.
Yeah, it's helpful if there's, you know, the photographer has the list of who's needed. You know, if someone who in your party is loud and they can shout, that is also useful for rounding up. But yeah, what you don't want is say, looking for Uncle Bob, 5 people go off in different directions finding Uncle Bob, one person finds Uncle Bob, brings Uncle Bob back, but now you're missing the other 4 people that went off to find him, and you get the point. Our next point, wet weather conditions. I mean, chances are, if you're watching this in the UK, you've probably not planned an outdoor wedding anyway. but you know, we're thinking further afield. So yes, if you have planned an outdoor ceremony perhaps, or any element part of your day to be outdoors, the weather becomes inclement, you move to your plan B of your covered, sheltered part. But obviously that's fine, great that you've got plan B. But it again takes time to relocate. So it's probably not even just the people you're trying to relocate, but there's probably decorations and like a centerpiece or something that was lining the aisle, or you know, as much as you'll have set something up probably in the plan B area, particularly, you know, if the forecast was risky or something, but you're not going to spend twice as much money on the florals, right, to decorate both just in case. So yeah, allowing time, knowing who the army of people are that are going to be, right, you're in charge of, everyone grab their own chair, or or you know, or you're in charge of lifting centerpiece, like, so people can just do it efficiently and yeah, keep things moving.
The 3 main takeaways are: put someone in charge of timings. So be that a family or friend who wants to help with the wedding, is very loud and very good at organising people to keep things moving, or probably might be a better option if budget allows, hire a coordinator for the day. So someone who's solely focused on making your day run smoothly and sticking to those timings, so you have a stress-free, enjoyable day that all just runs to time.
And it might be that your venue just provides one that
Yeah.
comes with that. It's quite common here. So, yeah.
Allow buffer time. So you've got your order of the day, you know what all your key things are, you've got a rough idea of how long it takes to move between places and how long certain things will take. Add a bit of extra time. And third, clearly communicate timings. So with suppliers, with key people, bridal party, and with your guests through an order of the day. So mainly they know when their dinner is. A very important point. Yeah, communication, buffer time, and somebody in charge, I think, are
key takeaways.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching. We hope you found that helpful and that you have a beautifully smooth running wedding day. Please hit subscribe because we have lots more content on this channel, giving lots more advice, and we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.